This is Hadrian Radio, coming to you from Free Catalonia, a KA radio production.
The worst kind of dictatorship is that is not perceived as such, because nobody will organize to bring that dictatorship down. This is David Rabantos, and this is chapter 23 of the English edition of Radio Hadrian. As always, thanks so much to KA Radio and to Cheryl Scott to allow us to give the vision of the Catalan process that you won't get nowhere else. Today is a program where we're going to talk about the end of the Catalan process, no matter what the impression they give to us. We're going to explain the Catalan dictatorship that is not perceived as such by a majority. We'll tell about some of the things we heard from our leaders that show that we've been betrayed by them. We're gonna talk about the interview that Alex Salmon did in RT with Carles Puigdemont. We'll talk about a so-called conspiracy between Venezuela, Snowden, WikiLeaks and Russia to help Catalan independence. And we're gonna talk briefly about the 3 months of the false flag in Barcelona and Ramblas, which is today, because today is Friday, though you're listening to this from Sunday on. And then we're gonna keep saying what we're doing in the Catalan resistance. We've said it before. The objectives of the world in Catalonia is to murder independence, to keep the pretense that we live in democracy, to avoid a domino effect that would bring Scotland's independence and so many more in Europe and the world, to keep the molds that run Scotland and Catalonia, Alex Salmon, Nicola Sturgeon, Oriol Junqueras, Carles Puigdemont, Artur Mas, Carme Forcadell in place, so they can keep betraying us. They want to murder independence forever, and that's why they let us celebrate 2 mock or fake unilateral declarations of independence. We've done referendums, we've done marches, but we're not independent. So the idea is to murder independence forever. If you let somebody get very close for very long and then you take it away from us, that's the way to kill it forever. And to do that, they control both the indie side and the unionist side, and then by doing that, there's no way you can win because both sides are controlled by them. And their plan is to murder independence through a Scottish-style referendum, which is what everybody is talking about now. As I said in the introduction, the worst kind of dictatorship is one that is not perceived as such. Catalonia is a dictatorship different in a velvet glove, but it's an 80-year-old dictatorship by General Franco. But it's done in a subtle way, which is all those that bark against Spain, but they work actually for Spain. And I need to explain, when 4 years ago I started attacking this process, because I know it's run by Spain, I've got threatened. They've sent people to offer sex if I forget politics. They've threatened to come in my face and break my face at home. They threatened me with legal action. They threatened me with cutting my head. They've called my friends. They've called everybody around me to make me stop. Because they said, you are a nobody. Which means everybody who's anybody belongs to either work for the other side, or they've been blackmailed, or they've been bribed, or they're dumb, not so they don't understand they're working for the enemy. But everything in Scotland and Catalonia is run by our enemies. Every communication by phone or by messenger or by WhatsApp or every email is monitored by the powers that be. And that allows, and if you remember The Life of Others, that film about communist Germany, that's how it works. It might be your boyfriend, it might be your father, it might be your boss, it might be the people you trust in your student union, it might be the person you trust in your party. There are thousands of people that work for London in Scotland, and there are thousands of people that work for Madrid, while they pretend to work for Scotland and Catalonia. And lots of them are people you love and trust. It's as bad as in that film, where a wife betrayed her own husband to save herself. In that case, it was through blackmail or coercion. But here is we fall in love with people. Lots of times they're patsies. They don't even know they work for the enemy. When Josep Guardiola talks about the Great Referendum, he doesn't know probably that would murder independence. He's only following advice from Puigdemont or Forcadell or Junqueras, because he doesn't know that they work for Spain. But that's the vision. I've been living this for 4 years, and that's why I've given you the examples of what they've done to me. They read every conversation. And when they realized that I was not going to be blackmailed or threatened or distracted by sex put in my way, or all of these ways, isolation and putting me in a mental institution is the plan, because we live in dictatorships. And it works in such a nasty way, as I'm going to depict. Everybody in Catalonia and everybody in Scotland have an open file in the secret services. For some people it's blank, maybe it's an empty folder, until one day you say something against the SNP or something, and then your file starts. But I had already a file because I've been fighting for independence for 30 years, so I might have had a file, and they might know that I don't sell and that I don't surrender, and they might know these generic things. But when 4 years ago I started denouncing the big deception is the Catalan process that we've seen, because they declared fakely independence twice, then they started telling me I'm a nobody and attacking me in public, calling me on the phone and then betraying me in public, pushing me towards important people in the hope that they would stop me, but I kept growing because I never stopped. So then the next thing is they need to isolate me, because I am the kid that says that the emperor is naked. And as they read every private conversation of everybody in everywhere in the world, but specifically of those that, like me, rise against the powers that be, then they sneakily, they have a diagram and they say, oh, David has spoken with that person. Who do we have around that person that works for us, or that works for somebody that works for us? Oh, we have her boyfriend, or her boss, or her teammate. So that person would get 3 messages from her boyfriend, teammate, and the other relationship, both the 3 of them saying that she should stop talking to me because I'm mad, etc. So then we have somebody like me telling you a nasty truth, which is that we've been betrayed by our side, and on the other side you have a sweet lie, which is our side belongs or works for us, and that is endorsed by your father, boyfriend, and a teammate. So 99.9% of people would think I might be mad, or at least comfortably stay in that. And that's the way this tremendous dictatorship and the velvet gloves we live in. I've been suffering this for 4 years. I've lost 99% of people around me have received this kind of influences. And they even invented that I was a sex harasser, and they sent a letter denouncing me for that to every friendship I had in Facebook. There's people I haven't spoken since that, so possibly some people might have believed it was true. That's how dirty they act, but that means they consider us a threat. I've outed in the Catalan version a member of parliament that has had 2 interviews with me, and he's been trying to pretend we were close, etc. And now he's been promoted on television, on a Spanish television, and we know the system don't help the other side. So this member of parliament has been trying to get information from me. But that proves 2 things. It means, once, I'm not mad, because why would a member of parliament dedicate 2 hours of his precious time to somebody who's mad? But the good news is that they consider us a threat, because otherwise why would a member of parliament spend some time with a member of the Catalan resistance? So that's the dirty system we live in. Everybody is monitored, and when you're an ant that you become a threat to the system, they have to destroy your life. They told me they would destroy my life, and they have. And they told me they put me in a mental place if I didn't stop, and they have. But I have survived, and I'm here, and I declare the Spanish state my enemy, and I'm not stopping till, as a member of the Catalan resistance, we're going to declare independence in parliament against the likes of Carles Puigdemont or Oriol Junqueras that work undercover for our enemies. We clarified this in chapters 3, 4, 5, who Oriol Junqueras and Carles Puigdemont are. They work for our enemies. Two things I would like to go on about is Spanish media have been saying that there's a conspiracy between Venezuela, Snowden, WikiLeaks, and Russia. And that is all a lie. But it's a lie because all those four, which are supposed to be enemies of the United States, actually are not. They are controlled opposition or they're limited hangout. I tried to ask help from Snowden in 2014 when I was getting threatened by attacking the system. That's how naive I was. I said, well, I'm attacking Spain and NATO, whatever, so Snowden should help me. But of course, he's a fake, so he wouldn't. And the same thing happened with WikiLeaks. I already debunked WikiLeaks in chapter 8 when I explained that they're there to protect the conspiracies like 9/11 by saying that they are conspiracy theories, to have an excuse for the powers that be to have more control of the internet, and to get dissidents to offer them information which is directly channeled to the CIA and other information agencies. So it's a stunt. I spoke with Gavin McFadden, which was like the right hand of Julian Assange, and he betrayed me and he ignored what I said and he basically let me down. Snowden ignored me, but Russia and Venezuela are funny because you would suppose that they would want to break with the things we've been saying in Radio Hadrian. Both Venezuela and Russia, they know to be true. Russia and Venezuela know that Alex Salmond, Nicola Sturgeon, Angus Robertson, Angus Brendan McNeil, Stephen Noon, Oriol Junqueras, Carles Puigdemont, Artur Mas, Carme Forcadell, Joan Vicent Soler Vicens, they are agents that are infiltrated in Catalonia and Scotland. Both Venezuela and Russia have much more means than we do, and we know for certain. So they know. So they are not what they seem to be, because officially, if somebody that wants to bring problems to the United States or to Spain or to NATO should take advantage of this. And well, normally they should have found us, because this is the 23rd chapter of this, so they know we have a lot of information. So normally they would have got in contact with us in some sneaky way to finance us or to help us to bring UK and Spain down. But they haven't. But it's a bit farther than that, because I went to the Russian consulate to see if there was a possibility, because I've been threatened and my life has been made a mess for the last 4 years. So there was a moment when I thought, well, I don't particularly want to live in Russia, but I was considering to go there. And the question is, I offer there to bring down UK and to bring independence to Scotland and Catalonia, and they ignored me twice. And then I called RT and they also ignored me. And then I realized that it's a big mock. The ones competing for the power in the world are United States and China, and Russia comes a poor third. So Russia must be siding with number 1 or 2, because in these things of world domination, there's not space for 3. So I really think nowadays that all this thing with Putin and whatever and helping WikiLeaks, and it's all part of a show. But what's more specific in Venezuela? Venezuela is always in a tiff with Spain and the royals and everything, and supposedly should be encouraging Catalan independence. And I came there with all this information. I went to the consulate and I said I was considering asylum in Venezuela, which would be a jewel for them, because everybody is flying away from Venezuela to Spain. So somebody moving from Catalonia to Venezuela and saying that he had information relevant about Spain and bringing about Catalan independence, and I should have been a jewel for them. But they met me, but then second time I went there, they neglected me and they let me down, which is contrary to what you would expect. So I've reached the last, I feel like Truman has reached the last screen. I cannot believe WikiLeaks, Snowden, Russia or Venezuela being what they depict them to be. They're just part of the show. So we can believe that Al Jazeera and RT are like alternative media to mainstream media, but that's not true. That's just another layer in the onion. You know that this truth is so many multi-layered onion, and there's only one after another. So when you escape one, you fall in the next one. It's only the people. We have nothing else. We don't have WikiLeaks. We don't have Anonymous. We don't have Snowden. We don't have The Guardian. We don't have RT. We don't have Al Jazeera. We don't have anything. Everything we see are actors in the Truman Show. We only have ourselves. We need to organize ourselves because we're 7,500 million people. And we're not going to be run by a bunch of psychopaths forever, are we? Reaching the last part, I would like to comment on this interview between Alex Salmond and Carles Puigdemont for RT. I already said that RT are fake and they are as mainstream as anything else, but people trust them because they're supposed not to be, which makes them the most dangerous thing because they are the ones that can betray us. Because things coming from them, as they haven't said that Salmond and Puigdemont are infiltrators, then we consider them not to be. But we've already said Salmond allowing the referendum rigging, not pursuing the referendum rigging, quitting in acceptance, sponsoring Sturgeon, and basically being member of the Privy Council of the Queen. He is number one enemy of Scottish independence. He is controlled opposition run by London, and so is Nicola Sturgeon. And that's why he gets offered a program in New World Order run RT. And he interviews the fake traitor Carles Puigdemont, which we explained in chapter 3, how Spain has parachuted in to be Catalan president to murder independence, which is the guy that has done 2 fake declarations of independence in the month of October. And they talk about negotiating about participation question date of a Scottish style referendum which would murder independence. And it's funny because it's RT, but BBC comments on that and mainstream media comments on this, so it doesn't matter if something enters the circuit through alternative media or mainstream media, because they all share it. So it's only a matter of, yeah, we're gonna get this through RT, but BBC will comment on that. So actually it's mainstream, isn't it? I mean, normally if something came in alternative media, all the mainstream media should block it. Because what's the point of being called alternative if what you do that is gonna be promoted in mainstream media? It's just a trick. It's just a way to give it a label so we can believe it. If something comes from the BBC, we don't believe it, but we make it through RT, but BBC talks about it. And it's the same thing, but we believe it. It's a bit nasty, but that's how it goes. This interview, to top it up, Alex Salmond in the end says, oh, I don't support Catalan independence, but I support the right of them to vote, blah and blah. So everything as we said. As we've been saying consistently in this program, both in the Catalan and English version, everything is planned for a Scottish-style referendum that would murder independence forever. And they've done this violence and they've done everything. Independence is not in the cards for the elections of 21st of December. Catalan resistance not competed in these elections. We give freedom of vote to people to do whatever they want. We are organizing something serious which is going to bring independence the next time we have a chance to do that. And that's going to be with new people and with a new project. Today is Friday, though you're listening to this on Sunday. We've had to put up with things saying, Catalan leaders saying, we were not ready for independence, we don't have a majority, we didn't expect Spain to react this way, we wanted to avoid violence. We've been betrayed in such a way by our own side that Spain has had to protect them, putting them in prison or pretending they are in exile, because that's the way to protect them from us. Because the moment people realize we've been taken for the biggest ride of our lives for the pro-Indy side, they will want to have serious conversation with all these people. To end this, today is 3 months ago of the false flag attack in Ramblas in Barcelona, and these days, so it's interesting to check chapters 9-10 of the English version of Radio Hadrian, because nowadays it comes appearing something we said 3 months ago, that the Imam of Ripoll was a confidant of the Spanish Secret Services, which means it very fishy what happened in Barcelona, what they said had happened. But it also goes to show that it's very highly improbable that this guy was volatilized or disappeared in the bombing in Alcalá the previous day. Because when you're informer of the secret services, you normally are not going to die in action, are you? So it's a good moment to go back to that. So the basic thing we want to say from here is don't believe anything you get through mainstream media. Only reliable source as far as we know is Radio Hadrian, which is the one which is telling you that both sides work together, and this is all a gigantic mockery just to keep people thinking that there's one side that works for Indy, but that's not the way New World Order don't play dice. So they only offer us options that are run by them. So no matter who you vote, no matter who you march for, no matter what media you see, you're actually supporting the New World Order. But we are here to do something that we're gonna make because we didn't know it was impossible. We are growing in strength here in Catalonia every day. We are meeting a lot of people that are listening to these programs and are realizing that their fears are true, that we've been deceived by our own side. They are not gonna be there letting lies be thrown at us again. And we're having interviews and people are joining the Catalan resistance. And we maintain a compromise here. First we take Catalonia and then we'll help Scotland to get independence. Thanks for keeping with us. Please help this program reach everywhere in the world so people can know about the big deception the Catalan people are going through, and together we can change this and start a domino or butterfly effect that will bring freedom to Scotland and to so many other places. Guanyarem!
This is Hadrian Radio, coming to you from Free Catalonia, a KA Radio production.